I'd like to thank all of our coaches that we had this year that helped us out quite a bit. Between boys and girls, we work together in everything, and it's quite a few athletes. We have, I think this year, just under about 200. And I'd like to thank all the coaches, which is start with Coach Tracy Hollenbach, who's our boys head coach. Brian Goudreau, Tom Soslowski, Mark Alexander, Brendan Dickman, Tom Saunders, all the coaches who work boys and girls together, so it was a great group, and the success is due to all of the coaches. Also very fortunate enough to have a manager that helps out every day, helps out, saves a lot of time in our workouts, provides everything for us. Tremendous asset, and that was Kristen Heber. Also like to thank all the parents. They support us so well. They travel everywhere with us. We were just at Double L on Tuesday in Danbury. Partway through the meet, we got rained out, came back home, went back there again today, just got back a short time ago. Parents followed us up there. They go everywhere we go. We can't do it without their support. We really appreciate that. Want to appreciate thank all the captains we've had. We had, like I said, quite a few athletes, and the captains help out tremendously day in and day out. And also, can't forget the athletes. Day in, day out, the hard work that they do, the dedication. They're the reason why we do what we do. We love the coaching, and it's because of the kids. Before I go into what we did, I'd like to wish all the teams that are still in the tournament best of luck, and best of luck this weekend at Nationals. We'll be thinking about you, everyone, and best of luck. Girls track team this year, we had another good season. We were second in the JI Invitational. We were second in the Greater Hartford Invitational. We had a 13-1 overall CCC record. We are co-champions with Windsor. Windsor's always one of the top teams in the state, so to be co-champions with them. I think this is the third or fourth year in a row we've been co-champions with them. Outstanding. Today they kind of topped it off with we were second. We were the second place team, the runner-up team in Class Double L tournament today, which says a lot about the athletes. This is the 8th year that they've been in the top 3 in Double L, and with all the athletes we had in the past, being that consistent every year has been phenomenal for the athletes. Just a quick thing, note on Double L we just had. Like I said, we were second, but we did have 2 champions. We had Stephanie McCardle, who was the individual 400-meter champion. And today, our 4x4 relay team of Casey Rosario, Mara Costantino, Kat Hastings, and Stephanie McCardle. Not only did they win the Double L 4x4, but they also broke our school record by about 4 seconds. We were very fortunate we had 10 all-conference athletes. I'd like to have them come down, please, and please hold your applause to the end. All-conference, Danielle Brinkman, Chloe Brown, Mara Constantino, Caitlin Hebert, Marissa Janasek,
She's supposed to bring that back. I know.
Sarah LeClaire, Allison McCardle, Stephanie McCardle, Casey Rosario, and last but not least, Morocco Wiley. All the All-State is It's not done yet, but as of today, we also had All-State was Stephanie Ricardo for her win the 400, which was on Tuesday. I do have a certificate for her, but our 4x4, which won it today, I don't have them, but they also All-State. And we also have the State Open on Monday. Top 6 places in each event will be All-State, so we'll know more on Monday. And then we'll hopefully off to New England, which will be next Saturday. I think we've all heard a lot about what the Hartwell Award means, and I think that each of us is basically the same but a little different. This athlete did whatever we needed, and we needed a lot this year. We had a young team. We lost some good athletes from last year, and I wouldn't call it a rebuilding, but we had a lot of youngsters, and for this athlete, we asked a lot, and before you know it, she was doing her normal events and jumping in and being outstanding in all the other events we actually threw her in. So if we needed someone that jumps, throws, vaulting, she was there, and one of our best athletes all around. Her leadership is second to none. What she does day in and day out, how she carries herself and carries her team is unbelievable. Her dedication, again, second to none. She works out all season, in and out, before the season, after the season, and travels down to Danbury, does extra things down there to prepare herself for the season. But she's one piece of the puzzle, but a big piece. She's always one of the first ones in practice when the last one's out, and Bucknell is going to be very fortunate. Chloe Brown. Yep. We also have a few things to give turnover. We have a second place trophy for JI Invitational. I don't see the Greater Hartford one here, but we also have a runner-up trophy for Class LL. I'd like to turn it over to Coach Holmberg, boys track.
Not get very far. A special thanks to Brian Collins. He's probably one of the finest coaches I've ever worked with, and I've coached a lot of years and coached with a lot of people, but his attention to detail is second to none. His dedication, the sheer amount of time he puts in. I'm always trying to get things in before him, and if I do, I like to have a little party for myself because I never get anything in before he does because he's so efficient, and I can't say enough about his help and dedication. So Brian, thank you so much. The rest of our coaching staff, Coach Collins already mentioned, Tom Seslowski, Brandon Dickman, Mark Alexander, Brian Goudreau, and Tom Saunders. The boys track team enjoyed a very successful season with a record of 11-3 in the North Coast Athletic Conference, the CCC North. What we were able to do is go 5-2 in dual meets, and then we were second in the CCC North meet. Probably one of the highlights of the season, we were able to avenge a loss to Weathersfield early in the season and come in second place to a very strong Windsor team who was the recent Class LL champion. We were only 6 points out of first place. The boys team had 8 all-conference performers, of which 3 were conference champions. When I call their name, would you guys please come up? 3 of those conference champions, Randy Niche was the conference champion in 3 events, the 800, the 1600, and the 3200. Sawyer Beatty was a conference champion in the pole vault. And Andrew Olson in the shot put. Our other all-conference performers were Tom Chamberlain, Mark Wiedemer, Robert Armentano, Avery Gray, and Keon Dixon. as Coach Collins mentioned, we just arrived from the Class LL State Championship meet where the boys finished 11 out of 25 teams. We have one Class LL State champion amongst the gentlemen standing up front. This young man today ran a personal best and a new school record in the 800 meters of 1:53.99. The State Open will be on Monday, as Coach Collins said. We will have 3 men competing there, 3 young men competing there, Randy in the 800 and 1600, Andrew Olson in the discus, and Mark Wiedemer in the pole vault. So good luck to those guys. The Hartwell Award for the boys track team this year goes to a young man who has worked so hard, not just during the season, but throughout his whole track career. As a hurdler, and I coach the hurdlers personally, so what I tell them is, it's not a matter if you're going to fall, but when you're going to fall, because you will fall. It's just a fact of the event, and it's an element that goes into the event. This young man took a few falls, and there have been a lot of bumps and bruises and disappointments, but he never stayed down. He always got back up, and he never gave up. He's a role model to all and a true student of his event. I'm very proud to give this year's Hartwell Award to senior captain Robert Armington. Thank you everyone for attending tonight. I will turn it back over to Trish and have safe travels home.
Season coach for us here at Glastonbury High School, and he is currently a nominee for the National Coach of the Year in cross country. We are anxiously awaiting the decision of the committee. We should find out later in June, but as I know I speak for everyone who knows Brian and the athletes who have had the privilege of working with him, it is a well-deserved honor. Congratulations and the best of luck to you in that selection, Brian. So we've reached that point where we now say goodbye to our congratulations.
All right, this senior had a wonderful career, and the highlight of her career was the last couple days. If you're ever at one of her meets before she runs, she is Miss Negativity. I can't do this, I can't do it, I'm not good enough, blah, blah, blah. But I'm letting everybody know right now, she is one of the best 400 meter runners in the state. All right, her times prove that, and winning double L 400 meters the other day is just proof that she is one of the best runners in the state of Connecticut. And this year's winner is Stephanie McCarty.
Steph.
Fantastic season, but it's not over yet. We just need to get her positive and calm and relaxed, just like her mother. That's what I've heard from her mother. I'm going to let her event coach, one of her event coaches, make the announcement for us.
We're just bring it up. This person's a graduating senior, and pretty much she has all the range in terms of running. She goes down to a 400 in the 4x4, 800, 16, 32. We thought in terms of scoring against Windsor, we needed to throw someone in the hurdles. She did that. In terms of just having her all 3 seasons, she's taken a beating in a good way. Some kids will fail, they'll fall down, they give up, they quit. When she was in cross country, she had something called VCD, which is vocal cord dysfunction, which is basically a false asthma. And if you read any research on that for runners, very few are successful at overcoming something like that. It's really hard. And she had one of her best cross-country seasons. I know this is track, just building up the story. I really think of her as, I think of her as unbreakable in the sense that she's like a golden pinata. You take all the laps. Hear me out. You can take all the hacks and laps you want at her, but she does it great. And she proved that even this year, even though the hurdle threw her back and hip out of alignment, she came back strong for us with modified training, and she ran a very tough 4x8 that helped our team. And even more so, who cares what she does in terms of a time for any event? I think all of her teammates are going to miss her as a captain and a leader, and that just speaks volumes for her. The last thing I'm going to yell at her for before she leaves is don't do club, do D1, go Delaware. Come on up.
Senior captain has been on the team for a number of years, has run very well all through her career. She is very quiet in what she does, but she just goes out there and performs and does well in all her events. She does a couple relays, she does the 200, she can do the 100. We didn't get her in the 400 as much as we want, but she was in the 4x4, which helped. She had the great opening leg today at the Double L meet, which started Dom was falling into place to get that school record. And this year's winner for best in track sprint is Casey Rosario. Yeah, kind of know. All right, most improved in sprints goes to a freshman who came out. Should have come out for indoor when she finally moved to the state, but she didn't. All right, but she finally came out for outdoor, and it took her a while to get into shape and get going, but once she got into shape, her time started dropping dramatically, and she had an outstanding time Tuesday at the Double L, and most improved in sprints, Veronica Wiley.
She's so happy.
Just look at
Did everybody?
For personal record and pretzel rod because she's not very flexible. One of the big things with distance runners is asking them to pretty much do everything, and she is by far a great example for distance runners because she triples, she doubles, and when she doubled at Middletown, she PR'd in both events, the 16 and the 32. She PR'd in both those distance events in one meet. And that's something that she did this year that was a tremendous accomplishment. And we definitely know that she doesn't really know what her full capabilities are yet. And thankfully, we still have one more season with her. But Caitlin Heber.
She's taller than all of them. Oh, you two giggles.
All right, improving by leaps and bounds. So this was a very difficult decision, but we ultimately came to one. And I will, I think I'm gonna let you tell me something. You were very instrumental in pushing for this person to get this award.
Again, this was, I hate saying this because everyone says it for Hartwell, it was a tough choice, but this one actually really was a tough choice. But it is going out to Dave Julian, and before we cheer for him, one of his major accomplishments today was one of the big barriers as a distance runner is you to go sub 10:32. It's something called the Bang Bang Gang. I don't know how that originated with the Shiners or whatever, but either way, Gabe's been a reliable part of this fight, Storm or McFly. We eventually found out that she had a second gear. Most distance runners are not all that fast, but when we did a 4x4 friendly, we'll call it, you soccer people, and we lost to the sprinters, she ran a 64, so that was nice to see that out of her. But in terms of her distance, 63 according to her sister. Anyhow. But again, back to distance again, she did one of the rare things that her leader did, captain did, Ebert. They both did it in the same race at Middletown, where they both PR'd in the 16:32 on the same day. So I think she's following in good footsteps with a good teammate of hers, and most improved goes out to Allie McCarthy.
Vaulted indoor, but she was at every indoor meet. She was a spectator, and I wish she would have been vaulting. And she has come a long way. We went from just being so frustrated. All she kept saying, she'd be kicking the pole, and then she'd be doing something else, and she's like, "What is wrong with me?" And I'm like, "I don't know, because I didn't teach you any of that, but you have to fix it." But she worked very, very, very hard, and just was a joy to work with. And she's also become known as the team mom because she's so very concerned.
So this girl we chose because she has showed so much improvement just in the past couple of weeks, pretty much. And she always has a smile on her face. She's always laughing. It's a good time. And that is Sarah LeClaire.
Yeah. This is the awkward. Yeah.
You guys do, please.